we're trying out a new hairstyle. Do we like it? Do we not? I saw it on, I think on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try it for my next YouTube video. Kind of feels like, who am I, right? So it was almost really conflicting because in one sense, we really felt like we were called, and in the other, it was like we were being stretched like no other, almost to say like, did we make a mistake in hearing God? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Krupa. If this is the first time we're meeting, I make faith-based content here on YouTube. So do subscribe if that sounds like something you're interested in. I make videos every Tuesdays and Fridays. So be sure to tune in then to see some new content from me. And if you are a returning friend, hello and welcome as always. So today we are talking about when you're feeling like you're doing what you're called to do and it just is not easy. Let's be real, sometimes when we do the things that we're called to do, it can be so difficult, and so let's talk about it. I always say this, but just a disclaimer, baby girl is awake with her dada having her breakfast, which is probably her favourite time of the day, as is mine. And so if you hear some screaming and some grunting, yeah, let's just move on, okay? Let's just move on. She's expressing herself, it's okay. You see? So, as you may know or may not know, we moved to Ghana. We, as in my husband and I, when we were 3 months pregnant with our baby girl, who is now 8 months old. It really felt like the Lord was definitely calling us for a new adventure. I will definitely do a video on this another time because I did ask on Instagram what you guys would like to see, and a lot of it was like Ghana based. So I will make content about our move, but for now, let's just keep it brief. We moved here and it did feel like we were called here, so I only preempted the joys that will come with the new adventure, not thinking about how difficult it may be. It was not easy. Like moving to another country in any way, this is not about Ghana, but just like moving and relocating to another country and learning new ways of living and learning the systems that are in place, etc. It's hard, it's really hard. And I've done a story time, I think, my labour video, so I'll leave it over here if you want to get a bit of a background of our experience when we first came here. But the water system in the previous place that we were staying was cut off, and so there was no water supply, and so all those things just added to my experience, of course, right? So it was almost really conflicting because in one sense we really felt like we were called, and in the other it was like we were being stretched like no other, almost to say like, did we make a mistake in hearing God? And so if this sounds like something you're going through or that you've been through, let's talk about it. Let's bring some light into the situation. So too often than not, we have this idea when we feel like God is like directing our steps to here or there, we feel like, okay, perfect, because God has said it, it's gonna be like sugar coated and the most delicious cotton candy ever. And it's like, where did you read that? Did he say that? Like, where did you get this concept or this idea from? I very much fell into that trap. When we found that we were like going to Ghana, I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, this is definitely a calling from the Lord, which means that it's going to be smooth sailing and we're just going to have a ball of a time when we arrive. Like, it's just going to be the most amazing adventure in the world, and like, I'm just so happy that I get to do it with my husband and just so ecstatic, right? Not preparing my head for the possibilities that this could bring some challenges. Anything that's amazing, that's being birthed, it takes stretching, it takes commitment, it takes work, it takes development, it takes growth, it takes prayer. It does take all these things, and so I don't know where we get this concept of like sugarcoating absolutely everything, especially when we feel like the Lord has placed it in our hearts. It's a setup for failure, really. When you're not prepared for, say, landing, you're not bracing yourself, right? And so it's the same concept here. I think like just having a holistic view of the season ahead or new journeys ahead is helpful because it keeps us level grounded and it keeps us almost prepared for anything, right? So we've already built that shield, we've already built that ammunition to tackle anything that comes our way, as opposed to being like, everything is airy-fairy up in the clouds, and then it's like, whoa, was not expecting that, right? And I think if we're honest with ourselves, we can avoid so much spiritual disappointment if we were just to ask the Lord to like prepare ourselves to brace whatever it is that it will come with. Because yes, new adventures are amazing, but like I said, anything amazing that's being birthed in us does come with like growth and stretching and pain sometimes, right? Let's be honest. Seasons that really stretch us are the best ones. Let's just be honest. I feel like when the journey isn't easy and it's really stretching and it's really pushing us to grow, it just goes to show us the value of life and the fact that it's so much more than tangible blessings or materialistic blessings. And here's what I mean. I feel like in my life, the most stretching seasons, the most dire seasons have been the best in developing me internally. What I mean by the best isn't necessarily attached to like materialistic things or like blessings that are tangible. Rather, it's done something incredible in me that's beyond riches and beyond what my hands could grab. After certain seasons, like moving to Ghana, right? That first initial season of like bracing ourselves for landing. And when we came here, the culture shock, the water supply, etc. I feel like after that season had passed, I was like, yo, who is this new woman? Like, don't talk to me. Like, I just felt like such a new woman, and a woman that's just so like undefeated. I've got fire. I've got fire. That kind of internal fine-tuning is more than what money can bring. I know you've heard this before and it's so cheesy, and I'm gonna say it, but it's the saying, what doesn't break us makes us stronger. I mean, I guess in the physical, yes, but like, I understand that to be so much more internal than it is external. So those seasons, be encouraged that actually in those seasons, it births in us what we are destined to be, the image of God, the image bearers of God, right? And so these seasons are truly blessings in disguise, even though it's so painful sometimes. So just to interrupt the video a little bit, if you're enjoying this video thus far, if it's encouraging you or uplifting you in any way, then make sure you let me know by hitting the like button, just so I can see that it is indeed content that you are vibing with, right? And the next point is so important, and that is difficult seasons in our lives does not determine the proximity of God, although it may seem that way. Here's a little encouragement for those who associate God's presence to God's blessings. It does not equate to the same thing, and let me tell you what I mean. Life is just way too dynamic for that. I mean, for those that believe in God and those that do not believe in God, life is just dynamic, granted, period. For us to put God in a box of like open heavens and amazing blessings and ecstatic experiences and just mountain high top living is just putting him in a box and setting us up for failure. We see in the book of Psalms, right? Half of it is just about grieving, about overcoming anxiety, overcoming fear. And then half of it is like praising God and high top experiences. Do you know what I mean? Just high soaring life. Why is that the case? Well, it's the case because in seasons of like valley moments, it's important to read those high experiences to encourage ourselves that there will be a moment in time that we are on the high again or on the rise again. Vice versa as well. When we are on the seasons of highs and seasons of ecstatic experiences, then it's important to know that life is dynamic and we will hit another valley or another moment of overcoming. And so that book for me is acknowledging that life is dynamic and here is your source to sustain you. And here's a little food for thought, especially for parents out there. Like, if your presence was directly associated to the blessings that you brought to your child's life, wouldn't it be the most untrue thing ever? Because it's like, actually, I don't need to buy you toys to let you know that I love you or that I'm close to you. Actually, sometimes a cuddle is what you need. If you're crying about a fall, you don't need me to bring you a toy. You need me to bring you cuddles and comfort, right? Something that my pastor always says and that I actually really cling to is that he says, I want to be more interested in God's beauty than his hands. And I'm like, actually that's so true. I'm a culprit, actually, I can admit to that. There's been times in my life that I'm like, I'm so much more concerned about your hands right now than your heart. In fact, what's in your hand, God? Can I have a little something of that? And so if we're honest, like actually we're just doing ourselves a disservice, right? By thinking that way or bringing those misconceptions or those preconceptions into our walks with God. So there you have it, a quick encouragement for those who may be going through a valley season or maybe feeling like, hold on a minute, I'm called to this. I really did hear the Lord direct me to go this way, but my days, it's so hard. And so if that is you, let this video encourage you. I hope that you feel uplifted. I hope that you're ready for the next phase of the season of life. Dive into the book of Psalms. That is where you'll find encouragement for every season, whether you're in the season of high and preparing for what you know life can be, which is dynamic, or whether you're in the seasons of valley and you just need your spirit to be uplifted and your eyes to be lifted to the clouds. That is the book for you, the book of Psalms. And so this brings me to the end of our video. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comment section down below. And talking about the comment section down below, you'll find a prayer in my videos going forward about the relevant topic of that day. And so if you want a prayer as a guide for your time with the Lord, then go in the comment section down below. That's where you'll find a lovely little prayer that you can modify, that you can make your own and enjoy. And so thanks for watching. I shall see you in the next video. Bye!